It is week 9 of the Prep Sports Report. I am Wayne Swetnoff, and tonight my co-host is Tommy Williams. Tommy, thank you for stepping in and helping us out tonight.
Well, I'm happy to be here, but not happy for the reason
That's
I'm
right.
here.
That's right. You know, it's been a tough week, Tommy.
Yeah.
And, you know, we want to just, first of all, start out with the giving condolences to Joe Arredondo and Liz Arredondo and the Arredondo family. Joe's father passed away. A very well-known person in the area, Tommy. He was not only a political figure, but he also was a sheriff, and lately he was a teacher. He taught some courses at Valpo University. Everybody loved him, a wonderful person. So our sympathies go out to the Arredondo family, and our condolences. But he wasn't the only one, Tommy.
Yeah.
There was another person that we all know very well in sports. He was an official for 40 years, and he also passed away this week, John Goss.
Yeah, this past Monday, as a matter of fact, a class guy, great official, had fun doing what he did, and you hate to see a guy like that have the issues he had before he passed on, but our condolences also goes to his friends and family as well.
That's right. And, Tommy, it was a tough week for some teams in the sectionals also. We'll take a break and we'll come back and you'll get some boys basketball sectional highlights and some gymnastics highlights.
Who is the dark afraid of? His name is Tim. When you report a power outage, Tim and linemen like him respond to the call. Text OUT to 444-111 to report an outage. With your cell phone, when the power's out, power is still in your hands.
Start out, Tommy, with some sectional basketball, and this is a situation where there is a one and done if you don't play well.
Yeah, no doubt about it, and we had some pretty good games this week. Can't wait to get to the footage.
I know. Well, let's start out at the Michigan City sectional where Hobart was playing Crown Point. I don't know, Tommy, if you've seen Crown Point play, but they are an outstanding team there. This is Derek Tomich making that nice shot there, and there he is again. Tomich really stepped up when I saw them play Valparaiso, and he really put some points on the board for Crown Point.
Well, one thing about Crown Point you have to like is this. You know who the best guy on that team is. That's Sasha. Ask Purdue. They'll tell you
Right.
point blank. But Tomich and guys of that nature, you need the number 2 and number 3 guys to come through. That's where your championship teams are built.
That's right. And Crown Point has the inside player in Andrew Kennelly. He has really played well for Crown Point.
As a matter of fact, Kennelly played well in the Andrian game earlier this year, and they got the ball inside to him, and that's when they broke the game open midway in the third quarter.
That's right. Crown Point here really playing with this nice shot. Look at that. Just beautiful follow through by Sasha. I can see why Painter is, looking at him.
Hey, I'll tell you point blank. Player of the year in Northwest
Oh,
Indiana
yeah.
without question.
Well, wait a minute now. What happens to Jermaine Cousinard of East Chicago?
Cousinard's cool. He's
Yes.
a very good player,
Yes.
but the guy that you just saw make that great, you just got through complimenting the guy the way he was shooting jumpers and you're trying to cause confusion here. No, Sasha is the best player in Northwest Indiana. Jermaine, nothing against you. You're a pretty darn good ball player too, but if I had to start a team tomorrow, I would start it with Sasha.
I totally agree with you. Crown Point goes on to win this one 66-36, and they move on to meet the winner of Game 2, and that is the Chesterton Trojans. All right, let's move on. to our next game highlight, and that is again at Michigan City, where Valparaiso and Michigan City, fought. And I'll tell you right now, Tommy, this is Michigan City highlights here, and I'm really impressed with Michigan City and what the job that Coach Boyd has done there.
Yeah, Coach Boyd shaved all his hair off. What's up with that? And some people would say I should do the same thing, but that's another story. But bottom line is, it always helps to have a coach who's been there, done that.
That's
won
right.
a state championship. And I was going to ask you this: how much of an advantage is that if you're Michigan City?
Oh, it is a big advantage. His knowledge and expertise really helps, especially in the sectional, when kids get kind of nervous. This was a game that I really thought would be a lot closer. Valparaiso went to Michigan City during the season, and here's Boyd here with a nice three-point shot. But, they went there and beat Michigan City on a last-second shot.
But you mentioned something before we went on the air. Michigan City shared the basketball a lot more this time than they did the first time the two teams played. And you can dribble all you want and do the behind-the-back stuff, all that shenanigans. When you share the basketball, spread the scoring out, you're going to win the big game.
That's right. That's right. Nice pass inside, nice block from behind, and that is Trace Ramsey. Nice three ball.
And see, the thing about Valparaiso and really the Duneland Conference, you have teams like Crown Point, Michigan City, Valparaiso, all in one box. I mean, any one of those teams could do well if they won that section and moved on. But unfortunately, only one could come out.
That's right. Does this score surprise you, 72-55?
The score doesn't surprise me. Well, the results do not surprise me. The point spread does. I thought Valparaiso would give them a little bit more competition, but give Michigan City credit. They brought their A game.
Okay, this is the second game this last Wednesday. Chesterton versus Portage boys. And, Portage just kind of struggled this year with the record, but they've played everybody hard until that, stretch that they make turnovers and things like that. And I really like their point guard, Evan Galando.
Yeah.
I really think he's an excellent point guard. So let's go out and look at the highlights of Chesterton and Portage.
You mentioned Galindo, and let's say this. It's always a good thing when your point guard can hit a lot of three-pointers.
Right.
At one time, he was he might still be the top three-point shooter in Northwest Indiana.
Well, this was this was a good one. Chesterton had to come back from 15 down, and Portage kind of held on, and they went into overtime.
Yeah, one of the best sectional games we've had the past 72 hours. And, Chesterton's got a good inside game, as you see right there. They've got some size in the paint. It's going to be hard to defend that size no matter who plays Chesterton in the next round. Also, they had to run the basketball at times, and they got that done. And that makes it all the more tougher because, as you mentioned, Portage has Galindo, but they need to get other guys to get the ball to, and that's a little tougher to do.
That's right. Chesterton's Jake Wadding, number 23, had a nice game, but this guy right here, Adrian Peterson, he just is outstanding.
Well, I thought he was the running back for the Minnesota Vikings.
Well,
who's unemployed at the moment. But
you look at his girth, he probably could play football.
Yeah. I saw that kid play earlier this year. He's scary. He's got an inside game, and he can shoot the three. I mean, that is awesome, no doubt.
Nice put back there for Portage. And there's that passing. Galindo starts that with that cross-court pass and then giving up the ball for Portage. They just needed a couple more people that could, step up. But this was a great game for them.
As a matter of fact, earlier this year I saw them play Merrillville. They had guys help Galindo with the scoring, and they took Merrillville down to the wire before the Pirates won the game. This is the time of year that you have to have more guys than just your number one guy put the ball in the basket.
Yeah, because coaches will try to take the number one guy out of the game.
Exactly.
Here's Peterson again. Says, you got to guard me out there, guys.
Just because I'm bigger than a linebacker doesn't mean that I can't shoot from the outside.
That's right. Chesterton goes on to win this one 73-70, and they will play Crown Point in the semifinals.
That's going to be a good game.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. Looking forward to Wayne's World and getting a prediction on that matchup.
All right, that's coming up. We're going to move on now to gymnastics sectional, the girls' gymnastics sectionals. And you had a chance a couple of weeks ago to go out and interview a Chesterton gymnast who's a freshman. Yes, who's a freshman.
Yep.
And you told me off camera you kind of learned a lot from her in this.
There's a young lady who is a dynamic gymnast who didn't quite make the Olympics, but still she's an awesome young lady named Diane Durham. She's the last young lady that taught me anything involving gymnastics. That's been a big gap. But interviewing those girls last week, their coach and Ms. Hunzelman, you learned a lot, including it's not a surprise to see freshmen and sophomores come in and get it done.
That's very true.
Yeah.
That's very true. Well, we went, Amanda filmed for us at the sectional at Chesterton, and it was a good one and an upset. Let's see the highlights.
Okay, you mentioned upset. I got to disagree with you on that one as we look at Sophie Hunzelman. And look at this. This is a freshman, ladies and gentlemen, getting it done. Chesterton's unbeaten this year.
Yes.
They have not
Yes,
lost
they
a
are.
match this year. Again, I learned that last week. Again, the education of Tommy Williams when it
Look
comes
at
to
the dismount.
gymnastics.
Look
Yeah,
at the dismount.
very talented. And again, folks, this is a young lady in her first sectional. Now, I know freshmen get it done in gymnastics,
Yes.
but this is a sectional.
9.55 on the bars here, and when my wife and I were watching her in your interview last week, when I got home, my wife pointed out, "Hey, look at her legs. When she, stops and puts her legs straight up, they are stiff. There's not a crack in there."
Well, it makes a difference in
Yes,
points,
it does.
no doubt. Here you have Jenna
Algozine,
Thank
yes.
you very much.
And
there you go.
she's a very good gymnast for Valparaiso. She had a 9.5 on the beam. And we talk all the time. Look at this, nice dismount for Jenna.
No knees bending.
That's right.
Yeah. Look at me talk like I'm Dick. What's it, Dick Button? No, that's the skating guy. Never mind. But yeah.
Whitney McKinnon for Valparaiso had a 9.55 on floor. And this is a dance routine where you're basically doing athletic moves, and you're trying to do that with music. This is fantastic. This young lady, Shannon Harrison, is from Crown Point. Now, Crown Point didn't qualify for the regional this week, but boy, she has been their team leader, and she has really done an outstanding job for Crown Point.
And we talked about as we look at Heather Rosario do her thing for Maryville. That's amazing. I mean, you want to be athletic, you want to be original, but you also have to keep it traditional.
Yes.
You don't want to overdo it and, totally turn off the judges. And these young ladies are getting it done. And again, the Duneland Conference getting it done as they've done in basketball and football, getting it done in gymnastics.
Yeah, and boy, you got to really give it up for Maryville. They didn't do well in the Duneland Conference, and they come back here and do very well in this gymnastics meet. Megan Gushrowski, first timer for us here, but she had a 9.45 for Michigan City on the beam. Another nice dismount, little movement, but that's all right.
Oh, you start to sound like a judge there. The East German judge says not quite. We'll give you a 9.45.
This is Jordan Bush, and she is Chesterton's number 2 gymnast. Maybe 1A and 1B.
Exactly.
And she is just outstanding. She's only a sophomore. Nice dismount for her on the beam. And this is Shannon Harrison again. She had a 9.4 on the beam. Look at that. Now that's what you want. You want those straight legs. Everything is lined up when you go up and do the handstand. And boy, is that tough.
And you talk about the big 3 in basketball, no matter what basketball team you might be talking about. Here's Chesterton's third person, and again, we say that only because she's the third person we've seen in this highlight. You have Troop, you have Hunzelman, and you have Bush. That's a pretty darn good big 3 for Chesterton.
Strong.
And that's why they've been unbeaten this year, and that's why they're conference and sectional champions.
They have the highest score in the state right now at a 114. Well, Chesterton went on to win this one and stopped Valparaiso's 13-game streak going, or 13 sectional streak going. Chesterton ended up with a 113.525. Valparaiso came in second at 11.5. And they top 3 teams, Maryville, Valpo, and Chesterton, qualify for the regional.
There you go, which makes you wonder. And again, Chesterton unbeaten this year as we take a look at the all-around top 6. A freshman is the number 1 young lady. That's Sophie Hunzelman from Chesterton, who we interviewed last week.
Right.
And you have a very talented bunch of people here. And you look at Jordan Bush, and it makes you wonder, where would she be? Now, Hunzelman not being there last year, Jordan Bush would be the number 1 there, chances are,
Right.
for Chesterton if Hunzelman wasn't there. So that tells you how deep that team is, and they're also very well coached. Second-year coach this year, by
That's
the
right.
way. Yeah.
Northwest Indiana is the best place for gymnastics in the whole state of Indiana with the balance we have here.
So is that telling me that you think Chesterton's going to win state, sir?
I certainly think they have the potential to win state.
Yeah, they've got the people, no doubt.
All right. I think that last week or so that you had the opportunity to go out to Chesterton and interview someone else.
And you know, it's kind of funny because it wasn't that long ago that Glenn Robinson's son won the NBA slam dunk competition. Well, we have a situation now in which a young man from Chesterton saw his father win 2 state championships, and he finally got his state championship last week. Delightful young man. Looking forward to talking to
wrestling.
him. In wrestling, exactly. Not basketball, wrestling.
Right. All right, let's take a look at that interview.
There'll be shared bragging rights at the Davison dinner table now because Andrew Davison has done something that his dad did back in the 1980s, and that's win a state championship this past weekend. Andrew's joining us right now, and I have to ask you, after you won that state championship and you first saw your dad, what did he say to you?
You know, it was a big relief at first. It was kind of just like, you know, we were both overwhelmed with emotion, so he just gave me a big bear hug, and, you know, I told him that finally after, you know, 4 years of high school wrestling, looking up at that at the sign in the wrestling room of his name up there twice under state champions, it was nice to finally add to it with a, you know, it just so happens the same last name too, so it's pretty cool.
Talk to me about when they put that medal around your head, or around your neck rather. What's the first emotion that hit you?
It was surreal. It was, you know, it was like, holy smokes. This past year, it felt like the whole past year flew by, you know, but yeah, it definitely hit me pretty hard there up on the podium, you know, looking up and seeing on the big on the Megatron, you know, seeing my face up there at first place, it was definitely surreal, even though I believed, you know, that was a goal. You know, I definitely believed in myself, but it was still such a crazy feeling.
Let's talk about your coach. We haven't mentioned him yet. How important has he been towards your development as a wrestler?
Equally, if not, I'd say he's definitely equal to my dad. You know, I look at him as like a father figure as well. So he and my dad, you know, have been cracking the whip on us the whole past year and pushing us and, you know, keeping us level-headed and just focused on our goals. Yeah, Coach Joel, Coach Boatwright, Coach Myers, who was new this past year, was a great addition to our team. You know, and Coach Mundell as well. He's been helping with the little guys. So it's like, I felt like this year we really, we all took advantage of what kind of, you know, as resources we had in the room and really took advantage of all that. So it was nice to see that pay off as well. So.
Okay, senior season's over now. Where do you go from here?
You know, as this chapter of my life ends, I'm definitely going to miss high school wrestling, but I'm very lucky and thankful for the opportunity that I'll have next year and the next 5 years actually to be able to wrestle at the University of Michigan. So Wolverines next.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Okay, hold on. Wolverine, let me hear the fight song, man. Come on.
You know, I
Hail
don't.
to the victors.
Yep, hail to the victors. Right. I don't know.
I'm an
I
IU
gotta
grad
learn
and I
all
know
this
it.
still.
Okay, you got to learn that now because
Yeah,
you know
sure.
what that first
I knew
practice is going to
that.
make you
I knew
sing
that
it.
one, yeah.
What made you pick Michigan?
You know, there were so many things I loved about Michigan. I was choosing between a few schools, and you know, first off, the coaching staff was just outstanding and really popped out to me. You know, and I began to work with some of those guys over the course of the summer wrestling tournaments and stuff, and I got to form relationships with those guys, and I loved every bit of it. I loved what they had to offer as a school. You know, they've got a solid wrestling program that's on the rise. Got some young studs in their lineup, and you know, they're just everything's looking on the rise here, and I can't wait to be a part of that and be singing that fight song with him like this year once I get it memorized. But
Best athletic feeling ever for you?
absolutely, yeah.
There you go. Do the fist bump with the mic, man. Come on. There you go. Congratulations, partner. Great job. All righty. That is Andrew Davison. Hey, I just wanted to fist bump a state champion, so I got my goal taken care of here. All right, Joe and Wayne, back to you.
Hey, I want a fist bump too.
Come on,
All
guys.
right, all
Greatness
right.
again.
That's great. All right, it's time, Tommy, for the Prep Sports Report Top 10.
And I saw your top 10. Give me my fist bump back. You didn't put my alma mater up in there.
All right, well, Tommy's giving it to me. Morton is in there, not Roosevelt. But all Roosevelt has to do is win, win, win.
That's true. That'll
That's
work.
it.
Yes,
That's
they can.
right. And East Chicago at number 9. I think really right now, many of these the same. Valparaiso is lost to Michigan City. Michigan City bumps into the 3rd spot. And again, I'll say it again, John Boyd has done a great job of having his team play team basketball. Gary Hayes with Griffith is really, that was a good game against Hammond.
And think about what Griffith has done the past 3 weeks. They've won at Bowman, at Roosevelt, who should be in his top 10. And they've also won against Hammond at Hammond.
Right.
That's at Andrian, too.
Yes.
4 tough road games.
That's right.
Prepares you for the
That's right.
tournament.
And our number 1 team still is the Crown Point Bulldogs.
No argument there.
No, geez, 21-3, and they have a date with Chesterton in the sectional.
That'll be fun, no doubt.
Okay, we have the players of the week. Or no, we have the Little Five, I'm sorry. We have the Little Five. All right, 21st century still is number 1 in our Little Five. River Forest has had a great year.
Yeah.
They really have played very good, 17-5. You got Westville, Hebron, and Winnemick rounding out the Little Five.
21st century, very underrated coach. Rodney Williams does a fantastic
Yes, he
job. And
does.
also, don't forget, Eugene German graduated, and they're still winning
That's right.
basketball games.
That's right.
Yep.
All right, let's move on then to the players of the week.
Okay, Sasha Stefanovic, one of the players that had a great week this week, had 29 points against Lowell. Lowell's a good basketball team.
Oh, yeah.
And if you could put 29 on them, you're a pretty darn good ball player. Valparaiso, Trace Ramsey, 26 points, 12 rebounds. Yes, that's a double-double. 3 dunks
Yes.
in one game. Wow. Jordan Smith of Hanover Central, 26 points versus Gavitt. Congratulations to him. Flip the page, if you will, as we take a look at other players who had fantastic weeks. Curtis Jones, not a bad guard. Pretty
No,
good ball player
that's
for
right.
Andrian against their arch rival Bishop Knoll, 19 points. Jalen Williams of Lighthouse, saw that guy play this year a couple of
yeah.
times. He had 27 against Clark.
And you've got Cornell, Hampton, and Griffith. The boys unknown, Teron Jackson of Morton had a big week, 36 and 32 points. And Corvon Lott of 21st had 20 points. And then Dylan Claypool and also Jeremy Shannon had 31 against Lighthouse. All right.
I do believe it's time, sir. Hold on, let me hand you your weapon.
Oh, for Wayne's World.
Wayne's World coming up.
All right, let's start off with the sectionals on Friday. This is a Friday-Saturday sectionals, championship on Saturday. Let's first start off with the one in East Chicago. I like East Chicago over Morton. I like Lake Central over Munster. And I like East Chicago to come out with a close victory here.
We're in agreement so far.
I like at Michigan City. I like City over Maryville, Crown Point over Chesterton, and I think Crown Point's too tough for the field.
Yeah, I think Crown Point wins that sectional too.
Moving on, we go to 4A. I like Plymouth over Mishawaka, LaPorte over Adams, who upset Riley, and LaPorte to win this sectional. And I like Lighthouse over Kankakee Valley. Marvin Ray moves on. Griffith over Gavitt. And I like this game to be a close one, but I like Griffith over Lighthouse because of experience.
I love that coaching matchup. Gary Hayes
do
versus Marvin Ray, that's going to be fun.
Wheeler gets on the winning track with Rensselaer. Twin Lakes over Hanover Central, but Twin Lakes is really tough.
Yeah.
They're going to win this sectional. And Roosevelt, I like, over Bishop Knoll. River Forest over Lake Station, although you were mentioning that Lake Station has really played well in many games.
Yeah.
But I like the Panthers over the Ingots.
You're trying to make up for that thing.
And moving on, we've got Delphi, Marquette, and then Marquette to win that one on Saturday. And then finally, we've got 1A, 21st over Washington, close game, Westville, and 21st as the sectional champion. And then Triton and Oregon Davis will play for the championship. Triton's too tough. They are going to win their sectional. No Tommy Williams check marks?
No, I do have to admit, though, overtime, Westville and 21st, huh?
All right, well, thank you for watching, and we'll be back next Thursday at 7.
Who is the dark afraid of? His name is Tim. When you report a power outage, Tim and linemen like him respond to the call. Text OUT to 444-111 to report an outage. With your cell phone, when the power's out, power is still in your hands.